It's probably up in my nose. Yeah.
Your nose and the mustache.
All right. So we're live. The eyeball is up here at the cast at Glocker. We're live today with New Spirit, Old Soul. This is the first show back in a little while.
Yeah, we had a winter hiatus.
We did have a winter hiatus. That's a good way to put it. Little hibernation.
Yeah. We're coming out of hibernation.
Correct.
We just stole that from building
Boyertown,
but hey, whatever.
This is a Boyertown centric show, so I feel like we can steal some stuff if we want to. I see some people starting to tune into the show. Before we get going with the show, I want everybody to know that we need you to like and share this video while you're watching it. If you can share a cat video on your Facebook page, you can share this show on Facebook.
Absolutely. It's way more content than a cat.
It's the same process.
Yeah.
So I can literally watch people sharing the show, and I know that they're sharing the show because the number of viewers immediately begins to jump up.
And you know what? Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
The cast at Glocker is a participation sport. It requires you to interact with us. So the chat function is open. Please put your comments and your questions, your critique. Hit the like, hit the heart. I don't even care if you hit that angry button. It doesn't make a difference to me.
Yeah.
Helps us get the word out. Controversy gets more views.
That's right.
You want to do the intro to the intro, Jeff?
Sure. Well, welcome back to the cast at Glocker. That's what we're here for. We're going to interview New Spirit, Old Soul, the owners here with us. We are also going to do some, I didn't even tell them yet, but we're going to do since St. Patrick's Day is coming up, we're going to do some Irish trivia.
Okay.
How's that sound?
No.
That sounds terrible. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
I'm glad everybody's into that.
Jazzed about it. Yeah. Good.
And we're going to find out what's going down in Boyertown. So let's get the intro and let's get started.
There we go. This is the cast at Glocker. And we're back. That was the intro.
All right. So we have New Spirit, Old Soul with us here today. The owners, Jacob Wright and Beth Bopper.
Correct.
Did I say that right?
That's right.
You did.
Okay. They're here to join us and tell us all about their new shop that they opened, about a year ago?
A year ago, yeah.
A year ago, April we opened up last year, but
That's right.
started well before that to get it ready.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we want to hear all about it. So first of all, tell us about your store, your shop, your buildings.
Where to begin? So we're on a 1759 homestead. John Motzer was the original owner. He built an old stone house. It was added onto later, but in addition to the stone house, we have an early 1800s summer kitchen with full working beehive oven, which I like to use for making bread and pizza. We have a spring house. We have an old chicken coop that's kind of added a roof to give it a little more presence. And then we have a cottage. And then we have a conversion of an old early 70s garage, corrugated tin garage that Beth had this vision of building out and putting drywall in, some reclaimed wood, changing the facade, putting some big doors on it. And now we call it the studio. And it's another retail space that we use for conversion for not only retail space, but also wreath making workshops and different workshops as events for people that come to the property and they can do different things there.
Okay. And so this is, I do want to point out to people that are wondering, hey, where is this? It's outside of Boyertown proper, just a little bit down on 562.
Right.
The address is 7799 Boyertown Pike in Boyertown, Pennsylvania.
That's right. I mean, I've heard people say, "What's Boyertown Pike?" And that's
Right. Who
that's
live here? Or
562. Yeah.
they go, what? What is that?
They just think of it as 562.
Right. Route
So
562. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
if you
and Reading Avenue turns into Boyertown Pike.
Right.
So
Right.
so if you know Freecon Farms and a Jukebox Cafe, just keep on going.
keep going,
a few
yeah.
more miles and you'll see us on the left. It's kind of a hidden gem. It's
It really
covered
is.
by trees. You don't really see the driveway. You got to kind of have your GPS on. And
But since you bought it, I drive past it
Mhm.
often, and since you bought it, it's become more uncovered because I know
Yeah.
it was a really hidden before. Whatever was there
That,
before was
right.
Really hidden.
That was one of the big projects that we took on before we opened up, was to open up the landscaping so people could see, because there's an actual parking lot, but part of converting the garage into the studio, the vibey place that we created. Now, when you're driving by, you see the front of this building and it looks pretty cool. And you're going, hey, what the heck's back there? I mean, it looks inviting.
Right. Was it a business when you first bought it?
so there's been an antique shop since
That's
Thelma
what- okay, that's
Thelma
what I thought.
Cook bought the property in the early 70s.
Right.
She rehabilitated the property. There were no roofs on the buildings. It was kind of dilapidated. She brought everything back to its original condition, and it absolutely put the work in to make it beautiful again. She opened an antique shop. She sold things out of every building, I was told. Her best friend, after she passed, purchased the property and continued an antique shop. So they were a little private. They didn't really promote in any way. They didn't have internet presence. They had no social media. They didn't have cell phones themselves. But she loved to have that business, and she really dabbled and sold in the primitive world, primitive
Right.
antiques, which is like 1700s and 1800s
Okay.
antiques. And she had, and we still have, it's a little door ringer on the tree out by the driveway. So when you drive in, it says ding dong inside the house, and she walks out of her house and opens up the
Yeah.
cottage, and she services the customers. And that's how she ran the business before us.
So there's a door ringer that you like a.
No, a sensor.
It's a sensor.
A
So
sensor
when you
on the
pull in
tree,
the
yeah.
driveway, it circulates in the house.
Mhm.
And that's
Okay.
how she knew to put down her cup of coffee and go out and
Open the
go greet
cottage.
visitors. Right.
She only used one building herself, but she was
Right.
an older woman who couldn't move around. She started 20 years ago, I think 1996.
She's been doing this forever at different properties as well.
Yeah, and she was in Shanesville before that. Beautiful people, Evie and Alan, and they were great. So, should we say how we found the property?
It really
Sure.
is kind of miraculous.
Beth and I have been antiquing for many, many years. We love going out on the weekends and driving an hour away to find antique malls and different gems. If
Treasure
you will.
hunting.
Treasure hunting.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we call it. Not sure a lot of people call it that as well. But one day we were following a friend of ours we love breakfast on the weekends too, and going to
Right.
local places. And a waitress had moved from one place to another. And so she's got to come out to Douglasville and check out where I am now. So we did. On the way there, we're kind of like, what is that? We passed
Right.
Homestead
couldn't see
Antiques.
it.
No,
was-
you couldn't.
You
see
couldn't
you
see
can't.
it. Right.
We just saw the sign, Homestead Antiques. It had a flag out that said open. We were like, we had to come back and check that out. So we came back after breakfast, pulled in the driveway, and Beth had been looking on real estate sites.
I'm a real estate gal, right? That's
So
kind
she
of
would-
my thing.
for literally 8 years, looking on trying to find
Mhm.
a place that we kind of wanted to do our own thing. We pulled in together into this spot, and we just pulled into the driveway. And as you pull into the driveway, you just see the homestead. It's right there. It's an acre and a half. It's not huge, but the buildings are right there. And she didn't even get out of the car. She said, "This is it. This is what I've been looking for. This is everything I want." And
Right.
you're getting chills right
I
now.
am
just
getting
thinking-
chills right now because it's.
Because you're saying that without knowing that it's even for sale or anything.
Oh, it
it
wasn't.
And it wasn't.
It wasn't.
There you
But-
go.
but
you
let me
know,
continue.
right.
So we walk in into this little cottage, and it's decked out in primitive antiques, and her jaw just drops.
Right.
And Evie's behind the cash wrap. Hi, how you doing? She's just like, "Oh my God, I love your place." I should let you tell.
No, I think I was so taken with the property, and I kept whispering to him, "This is it. This is it.
This is the
This
place.
is what I've been dreaming about forever. That this is it. It's close to our home. This is perfect." And I think I said 2 words to Evie. I think I bought a candle, and I think I said, "I love your place." And we left, and we walked to our car. It was pouring rain, freezing out, and our car wouldn't start. The car wouldn't start.
It's early January.
The car wouldn't start. And Logan at that point, he was much younger. You know, he was probably 8 at that point.
4 years ago.
Yeah,
Mhm.
8 years old. It's freezing out. Evie comes running out to the car. She's like, come in the cottage, sit by the fire, get warm. It's too cold out here. Let the guys fix the car.
Well, I think the first time when we first walked in, she said, I would buy this place. And Evie said, I would sell it to you. And she's like, and she covered her mouth.
She
like,
did. She went,
She was kind of like, I can't believe I just said that. I don't know why. I just got a good vibe about you guys, but I can't believe I just said that. So we walk to the car. We go back in. The guys are out calling the tow truck, Moonlight right here down the road, to come out and get their car because we couldn't get it started. While we're there, Evie's husband, Alan, comes out. Evie's brother comes out. We're talking in the driveway. They take the car. I go back inside, and these two are on the
holding
table,
hands.
holding hands in front of the fire, looking at
We
each
just
other.
met each other.
Tears
We were
coming down the
both crying.
face.
We were crying. Yeah.
Would you have gotten married? Like, there was like
Probably. She was that good. Yeah.
And
It was.
You
It
were
was.
proposing
It was
to each
kismet.
other.
It was meant to be. It
Alan
really
and
was,
I
yeah.
walk in the
What caused the
cottage.
tears? I just got to know.
Well, we're gonna get to that. So
Yeah,
Alan and I
sorry,
walk.
it's a long
I don't
story.
mean to jump in.
But it's
That's okay.
meaningful.
Alan and I walk in, and Alan, being concerned, his husband goes, "What's going on?" And I said, "Alan, I think we just bought your property."
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
But they weren't ready to sell. I mean,
I mean, we kind of jumped them and said we'd buy it, and they said yes, and they actually
Yeah.
showed us around.
yeah.
Because
Because a lot of people had asked to purchase the property. It was not on the market.
And
You
she
know,
said no before.
And she said, yeah. And
a lot of people asked me that.
Oh, a lot of people
Mhm.
ask her, and she's like, she had to feel right about who it was. She was very selective, and
Oh.
it took 3 years.
3 years later.
3 years
3
later.
years later, she's never called us. We always stopped in like once a month for
'cause they
3
really don't have
years at
something.
least,
Yeah.
and bought stuff from her, talked to her, checked on her. and
Yeah.
it
Just
great
became
friendship.
family
Mhm.
and friends. I mean, that's how it evolved. And I kept saying, if you never sell us this place, it doesn't matter. We love you. We're family. We will do whatever you guys need, and vice versa. So it didn't matter. It just turned out that way, that she surprised us one day and said, oh, come over. She called and said, why don't you come over? I think I have something that you want. And I said to him,
She's never called.
she's never called me like this. We got to go.
Yeah. So we're like, okay. She did have some columns that we wanted.
She did.
She said,
We
come
bought
over and
stuff
check
from
out
her all
these
the time.
columns. So
She had
we're
great
like,
stuff.
I said, I don't know. They love that. I mean, and they should. They love it. It's a beautiful place. But so we get there, and she's showing us the columns, and she goes, oh, by the way, you still interested in the house? We're like, Beth, of course, is like, of course, we love it. We tell you
Right.
every weekend we see you, we tell you that. She says, okay, we're ready. And
Wow. So it was certainly meant to be.
It was meant to
It was
be.
a shock,
We
yeah.
we feel
And-
that
and
way.
Matt and I know, being in real estate ourselves, that is how it usually is. I mean, when a buyer walks to the house,
Right.
They know it
usually know it right away.
right away.
Right
Yeah.
away.
Mhm.
You're right. I agree.
And so we went through the process of the due diligence, as you guys know, and it's an old property. So, I don't know if you want to talk about some of the challenges of the
No,
property.
I
but
mean, that could go on for 3 hours.
Yeah, we do only have.
I
one
know.
hour.
That's why I'm saying it turned out. And
it worked out.
we
yeah.
think we made it something cool for the area.
Mhm.
It's the whole timeline. Like John Mozer's the original owner from 1759 of his homestead. And we wanted to be able to invite everybody to come and enjoy the property. Not everybody gets the old stuff or likes the old stuff. They like the new stuff. And the way we like to work, we integrate old stuff with new stuff
Yeah.
and make it happy together. I mean, that's a big belief that we have, whether it's people, whether it's things, whether it's home decor, whatever that is, it's all integrated.
And with the property, we loved it so much that we said that very first day, people need to see this, right?
Yeah.
Because these kind of places are falling down or being torn down, and not.
Yeah, that's a shame. to
It
say.
is
It's
a
a
shame.
shame.
And this is 1759. This is before 1776,
Right.
right?
It's kind
Yeah.
of crazy.
It is crazy.
No, I mean, just to put that in perspective, 1759 is the French and Indian War. So it's prior to the American Revolution.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, when we walk through the house, sometimes the floors are original.
Right.
You think about that and you look at the steps, you can see where they're tread worn. And it's like, I wonder how many people.
Yeah, how
walk
many
on these
different people
steps.
walk through
Right.
You
this?
can
Yeah.
see, it's beveled and bowed
Mhm.
from use, but it's beautiful.
Right.
It's
Even
just
the-
rich.
It's a patina.
It's
Yes.
a patina.
Yes.
Right.
But
Which we love.
there is a stone threshold in the summer kitchen that's about 1.5 feet wide and 3 foot wide, and it is beveled down. It is
Yeah.
worn
Oh, yeah.
down from people walking through that, and over the years.
For hundreds of years. Yeah.
Hundreds of years. That
Yeah.
sounds crazy.
Another owner of the house was Ludwig Warman, who was the
Right.
first Upper East Berks County state representative from 1820 to 1821. He passed away in 1821.
Right.
So, he had some influence, and I'm sure he had parties and get-togethers at his house from local people as well. And
Right.
just think of who knows may have been there at that time.
Right.
It's pretty amazing.
Are you both like history buffs as well?
I wouldn't say we're history buffs at all, except we like it.
We enjoy it. It's not something. I think it happens naturally when you look for older, things in architectural salvage. You just
do
kind
start
of fall
learning,
into
yes,
that,
yeah.
and you appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an appreciation there.
It's
Um,
almost like you're learning it by being in it. It's not
Yes.
necessarily that you're studying, but a lot of information probably comes your way.
That's right.
And then I'm sure there's a certain amount of research that you have to do in order to know what's valuable, what's not, what are people into. So I'm sure you're picking up some history
Absolutely.
that
You do.
way too,
And then
right?
You
Right.
probably get a piece of the story, and you want to know the whole story. So then you
Yes.
start researching too. So
You do, and it's what's
do.
amazing in this kind of industry of antiques and home goods and stuff. It's certainly antiques is that everybody has a collection of something, right? Everybody collects something, and you
Right.
wouldn't believe everything's a collectible, right? Somebody collects something. So it's really interesting learning about people's collections and learning about the history of why they collect it, but also the collection itself is pretty amazing. Actually, I totally forgot. I brought you guys something from my personal collection. I collect
Oh, no kidding.
little cars.
Matchboxes.
These are
He
a,
loves them.
Yeah, this mine's
62
actually a
a
matchbox.
62 and a 63
Hood opens
Corvette.
up. Look at that. Does your hood open up?
Did you open
Yeah,
up?
yeah, right.
no.
That one's
Bummer.
from England. That one's American. So
That's cool. Man.
yeah, so I collect a lot of little different things myself, and I just like I only collect high-end type cars in the little cars, and it's not a real serious collection. But every time I'm out at antique,
But you enjoy it.
I do. I like to
Yeah.
find them because everybody has a bin, right, of old
Right.
cars, and I kind of dig through and find the Ferraris and Porsches, and I buy them for $3, $5, and it's fun for me.
Cool.
So tell us about, I see you brought some flyers that I guess we're going to put up here at our office. We're located at 900 East Philadelphia Avenue. We're Glocker Realty and Insurance. We are your local real estate and insurance experts. We're going to put these in the office. So if you want to stop by and pick up some more information about what you see going on. I also see that you're friends with our folks from Rust and Such.
Mhm.
Right.
Allison Larson was a client of mine. I helped her buy that
that's
Oh,
house
nice.
Oh, that's wonderful.
where the barn with charm
Right.
is.
That's-
Yeah,
yes.
I'm responsible for that.
Yeah, that's a cool place.
It's your
So
fault,
tell us
man.
about tell us about what's going on, because I know what's going on after seeing that, but explain to people what this information is and how they can find you, and talk about the antique tour and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so last year, as an opening year, we wanted to be open every weekend for the public so they can get to know us and we could get to know them, and they could stop in any weekend and see us. It was very demanding for our schedule to do that. And we knew we couldn't continue. So this year we followed our friend's schedule because we share a common postcard and we're open on the same weekends they are. And it's only one weekend a month now
Okay,
instead
so
of
you
every
and Russ and
weekend.
such, and Russ and such is based
Yes,
only.
and Old
And there
Print
are a couple
Shop
of other-
and
Others on the
a Skep in
card.
Time as well. So
Right.
we've all decided to be open on the weekends, the same weekend. So when you go out for the weekend, you can kind of do a tour, and they're all within
It's a nice
15 minutes.
Yeah,
collaborative
you
of
do
it.
the
Yes,
trail.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's nice.
Just promoting each other. There's always business enough for everyone.
And I don't. What was the other business?
So a Skep in Time,
yeah, I don't.
and
know,
then the print shop.
I don't know that one.
So
That's local.
Yeah.
a
It's
Skep
local
in
to
Time
here.
kind of took over for Evie in that they sell primitive, early American, primitive antiques. Rare, one of a kind, beautiful pieces, and a collection of them too. She may have a lot of little firkins or pantry boxes, so many different. I don't even know what the name of some of these things are.
Yeah.
They're so old and out of use now. But there are around here and around the country, there are a lot of primitive antique collectors. And around Pennsylvania, because the state is so old, we have a plethora of that. No, I wouldn't say a plethora, but a lot of, we're spoiled in the fact that we have such great antiques here in Pennsylvania. People from,
Whole state.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure. People
Yeah.
from Texas and California would love to have what we have here
Sure.
out in PA. So Jamie at Skep and Time has really amazing primitive antiques, and Rust and Touch has a great collection of vintage and
Pickings
antiques
and
as
stuff.
well.
And they're all
Yeah,
good
yeah.
people. I mean, it's just good
And
to
it's a-
support the local businesses too.
Absolutely. And the cool thing is now that you explained the one business, and I know the other business, you all have your own niche.
Yes.
So
Right.
it's not like you're going to one place that looks the same as the other
Right.
place. You will see completely different stuff at all.
Absolutely. And they're all within 15 minutes of each other. So you kind of make a little loop.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
it's
we all
great.
complement each other. It's a nice, and we support each other. So it's a nice family.
Very
So
nice.
where
Actually.
can someone find that? Find
This
the
fly-
dates.
Oh, yeah. So they can check out our website, newspiritoldsoul.com, or any of our
That's easy enough.
or any of our social media, Facebook and Instagram, New Spirit Old Soul on both of those as well.
Okay.
So we post our dates there. Certainly come into the shop or here at Glocker and pick up a flyer and take one with you as well.
Cool. Okay.
And Jeff, just so that you know, what I've been frantically doing over here is putting up Facebook links to each one of these businesses that's on the tour
That makes it
into the
super easy.
comments of the show. So for people that are technology inclined, they could go and visit those other Facebook pages while they're watching our show. If you don't want to attempt to do that, after the show, go into the comments of the show, and there'll be links to all of these different businesses that we talked about on the show today. If you want to go back and watch an old episode of the Cast at Glocker, the best place to do that is at our our YouTube channel, which is Glocker Realty and Insurance on YouTube. Our past episodes are up on there. I believe our Rust and Such episode, or as much of it as exists. We had a really bad technical problem, but there is a little bit of it that I think exists. It was my old school equipment that we had.
Uh-huh.
Remember that? We had,
upgraded, yes.
we've upgraded to new stuff. So anyway, if you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, that is free. You can see old episodes of the Cast at Glocker. You can also see the listing videos.
60th,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of episodes up there, so you can check them out.
And they're fun to watch. I did some kind of doing some research
Did you?
myself. I
Did
went
you?
on
All right.
YouTube, watched a few different videos and clips, and it was a fun time. So go down the rabbit hole of local
And you can
businesses.
see when we had good days and bad.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah,
that's the best.
that's a problem.
So I want to give some shout outs because there are some people watching that are participating in the chat.
Yeah, let's do
Renee
that.
Kendra Morris, Adrian Zapin are both in the chat today,
Adrian will
and
be
they've
on
been
soon, I
chatting
think.
it up. We do like your comments and questions or just your likes. And if anybody says anything worth posting, I will put that up on the screen and you will get credit for class participation.
Adrian Zabin is the old stroll.
Right.
Old soul.
Stroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
she's
know
pretty
Adrian.
cool.
She comes
Yeah.
out and visits us.
And she's got some more stuff up her sleeve, and she's going to be on shortly.
Beth has
Nice.
done before. You did the walk with her, right?
I did. I
Yeah.
did the Old Soul
I did too,
stroll.
yeah,
Yeah,
really
it was
good.
great. She
Yeah,
was
really good.
terrific. And she came to the shop last weekend too.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see her.
We
She's-
have made
she's a good
such
person.
friends with the local people
Yeah.
who have come out and seen us, and it's been such a fun time getting to know people and make new friends. And you see these faces come out and say hi and give us hugs, and we love that.
And speaking of, for people watching, my son and I came out right before Christmas, and we never been there before. Cast it a million times, but we saw there was changes happening, and I started hearing more about your new shop, and I keep on calling it a shop. I don't know if that's right.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Shop.
Um,
It's a shop.
okay.
Yeah.
And so we stopped by. We're like, hey, let's see if there's some interesting Christmas ideas there, and there was tons. But yeah, I mean, you do mix the. We had a great time, my son and I. My
Good.
son's 12, and I'm old. And we both had a great time, and man, it was so friendly from the very start. We pulled up, got out of the car, we were greeted by somebody. I'm not sure who it was.
That was Steve.
It's all family.
Yeah.
Everybody there who was at the shop
Friends
is
and
all
family.
family. Yeah.
and,
friends that we consider
very
family.
kind, told us about everything, told us to check out the whole property. So the short story is, it was a whole experience. It was more than
Right.
just stopping by a store and looking at some items. It was a whole experience. had to look in the old
Summer kitchen and
summer
spring
kitchen and
house.
all that.
Yeah.
Spring house.
Right.
Spring house. We got it. The summer kitchen. You were actually cooking for some event. that
Oh,
was back
okay.
then.
Oh yeah.
So we weren't able to see that. So we have to come back another time, obviously.
Yes,
which we
definitely.
will, of course.
Definitely. I'm glad you said it's an event, because
Yeah.
that was really
It
our
is.
purpose.
It's an
And
experience.
what I was saying
Right.
earlier about, people need to see this, right? So if you have young kids who have never been to an old property, it's eye-opening. There's a little creek that runs through the property, and they
Right.
walk across the bridge. Logan and his friends play in the creek in the summertime. So it really is an event. It's not just shopping. It certainly is shopping as well, but we don't care if you don't buy anything. If you come out and say hi and sit down on the patio with us, sometimes we do impromptu karaoke.
Right. We do.
We serve drinks for free there,
Right.
and you're welcome to come out and hang out with us.
Yeah.
But also seeing the old buildings and walking the property it's a unique experience. It's not something you can really see from, like Matt said, from 1759. You don't get a lot of options to see that. The house isn't always open. Steve lives in the house, but we do open it for tours around the holidays. And we've had somewhere around
who-
600
We
people.
did the holiday. He's my brother,
Okay.
so he lives in the house. He takes care of the property, and he's eyes on that. But he's a great guy, just the same. But he helps out as well. But the house is private. But we've done private dinners there, private parties, just like private parties in the summer kitchen. So we offer, because people have asked. We did the holiday house tour 2 times last year. We had about 700 people
Yeah.
come through last year on the holiday house tours. So we got a lot of, in our first year, we really opened up big.
Big, yeah.
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 Being open every weekend,
Right.
offering new home decor, old home decor, architectural salvage, parties. We did a
You have a
lot
little bit of
of,
everything, that's
we
for
did
sure.
workshops.
We have some events
Um,
coming up.
We
this
have
year as
events
well.
coming up this year because frankly, people are looking more for events. I don't know, there's not a tremendous out where we are on 562.
Mhm.
There's not a ton of things to do out there. So when we post events, whether it's
You get a
wreath
good crowd.
workshop
And
or,
it's limited
bourbon and
space, too.
cigar night or whatever it is. We have paranormal coming up. We did that last year. It was a big success. So it's really varied.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Eclectic.
it is because everybody likes something different, right?
Right.
And we do too. We like to touch all of it and expose people to all of it, and hopefully, and so far we've gotten a good response. So this year we're going to
And if
continue.
And when you do have events, you have to let me know because I do host an event guide.
Okay.
It's a
Oh,
weekly event guide. It's
Oh,
free
yeah.
for the area. It's free for everybody.
Mm.
But I mean, it's
Right.
It's for the area and it's a free event guide.
yeah, we have a bunch of events coming up for the
I'd
year.
Love to
It's
make sure
great
I get 'em
because
up there.
we max
Thank
out
you.
at like 40 people. So it's
Mhm.
very intimate.
It is.
Even when we
Personal.
do those bigger events of having, but our wreath workshops and things like that are like 20, 25. So it's really personal and different than going to a massive room and being just one of the crowd.
Do you want to talk about a couple of the events coming up?
Well, we have the paranormal coming up.
Okay.
Last year we did, we worked with Eric Mintel Investigates. We did our first paranormal investigation. So he's on.
I laugh because Eric has a great intro into his video.
Yeah.
He says, "By night, I'm a jazz musician. He's a pianist.
That's his
and
real-
And he actually does tour around the country. He's been to the White House and he does different jazz quartet. And he is later at night. He's a paranormal investigator. and
paranormal
he
investigator.
does.
right.
He's local. Used to be Bucks County Investigates.
Used
I
to be
think
Bucks
it was.
County.
And Eric, he's come to our place and he's did one last year. We did a follow-up video
Does he
because
do shows or something?
yep,
Like-
He's on YouTube. He did,
on
yeah.
YouTube,
mhm.
and he's also on TV channels as well. That you can
Right.
find him. So Eric Mintel investigates with his partner in crime, Dom Seattle.
Sattel. Right.
Thank you. And he's the spirit medium.
right.
So we just did our second recording on March 18th.
A couple weeks ago,
It's not even the 18th yet, so it
It's
couldn't have been
February.
February 18th. And
Whatever.
we're going to premiere that video April 15th. So the tickets are for sale right now through the Facebook.
So
and
we
Eventbrite.
premiere it, but then they come, the investigation team comes, we, expose the audience to it, and then we all do the ghost tour together.
Okay.
So it's a full,
What's great
You
is
know,
So they
event.
did the investigation
Mhm.
right.
and they recorded it.
Yes.
mhm,
And then they're going to piece it together.
mhm,
It's-
edit
it's
it, put
display.
it together, and
And
then
we-
premiere
We
it.
show it to the crowd.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Eric and Dom actually come to the showing.
Okay.
And then they take people through the house 10 at a time.
Oh,
you
that's
walk
great.
the tour.
And you do the whole
It's
thing.
pretty cool, actually.
it's
So
really-
you can't tell us what they found or anything.
They
no.
found stuff. But last time they found
April
stuff. This is
15th.
part 2.
Yeah, so I did post and it is on YouTube. The first video is out there, so you can see that one right now. The second video will be posted to YouTube after the event.
Okay.
So if you do miss the event, you still get to see the video.
Yeah.
Right.
And then some of the other events are wreath workshop, but those are always in demand.
Mhm.
Bourbon and
We have a
cigar
bourbon and cigar
night.
night coming up.
We're in Father's Day. We're trying to think of some other events, where dads want to come. Well, ladies are welcome too if they.
Yeah, and
enjoy
we
bourbon
work
and
with
cigars.
local people. So we have Brothers Bourbon partnered with them, local
Right.
guys who
Workshop.
got certified in how to sniff and taste bourbon. We're working with Gilbertsville Cigar Factory right down the road. Chris, the owner there. So we try to expose people to the local businesses as well.
Nice.
Kind of help support everybody.
See how that works?
Yeah.
It's like this. Like,
It should be. I mean, we should
Yeah.
all support each other.
Right. Well, I
Right.
mean, at the end of the day, that's the reason why we started the cast at Glocker, was to highlight local businesses and give people a chance to learn more about businesses that were right in their backyard. It's a good idea to support local business. If you support a local business, 80% of your dollars that you spend on a local business stay in the community. As opposed to a lot less than that if you go to a big box store. And also the local businesses are the folks that sponsor your kids' baseball team, your soccer
Right.
teams.
part of your
They're the
community.
ones that are part of your community. They live on your block. They live in your backyard. They're sponsoring your 5K.
Yeah.
So go and sponsor and support them back. And then we can keep more dollars in the local economy.
For sure.
Right.
I have something to say. I'm going to make this offer and I'm going to do it on video so that you can always refer back to it.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm going to offer something to you. If you don't want to take advantage of it, it's fine. I'm just going to make the offer. My friend and I are historians and we're
Yes.
reenactors. And we do 18th century
Wow.
reenacting, and we know how to use that bake oven that you have.
Yes.
So I would say that give us a little bit of time, and after the show, I'll connect with you. We'll come up with a date, and my buddy Mark and I will come out and we'll do a 18th century bake oven demonstration
do it.
for you.
That would be great.
And
That's
anything that we can
fantastic.
learn about the history, the real history of the house.
Mhm.
I don't tell ghost stories because I'm not into that. But anything that we can uncover about the real history of the house, we'll be able to interpret and talk to the people about what's the history of the house,
Mhm.
what it is that we're doing in the bake oven, talk about 18th century baking and kitchen techniques.
Yep.
I'm
And I know
willing. I'm
sorry.
willing to do that.
I would absolutely love that. I've done some of the baking myself, and as some of my patrons know, I've made some pizza for a lot of people. I've
Yeah.
made some bread there. Definitely not an expert at it. I figured it out. I reached out to Instagram and I said, I took a picture of the bake oven. I said, does anybody know how to do this? And a baker from Vermont reached back out. He has one as well. He said,
Yeah.
yeah. And he walked me through it. And I just, through trial and error, kind of figured it out. And the very
cool.
first time that I made bread and the very first time that I used the oven, it worked. And I
Oh, it
was
was great.
Yeah.
But that's a great offer. That's a
thank you.
great
Yeah,
we'll do it.
opportunity.
Absolutely.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll connect after the show,
Right.
and then we'll give us a little bit of time because
Sure.
we'll have to. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
Okay.
And we'll come out. We get all kitted up in
Okay.
18th century gear, and
Awesome.
we'll talk to people about what it is that we're doing.
I would
Yeah.
love that very
That's
much.
awesome.
Thank you.
I would love to do it too.
That's so
And
cool.
your friend Mark likes to dig deep into.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
know a lot of stuff about the local history here, and there's some stories that we can tell about that area.
Perfect.
So there's some things that not necessarily occurred on that property,
Mhm.
but in close proximity.
Which would be fantastic because frankly, we've tried to do a lot of digging because that was part of the appeal of this property to
Right,
us.
right.
It's rich in history and it's really limited.
Yeah, and it might be. I mean, some places
There's
we
no
know more.
records,
Right.
1759. We have some limited stuff, but anything that you could find, that's great. That's fantastic.
We
Thank
did
you.
get a listing. One of the people who came in loved digging up the history of houses too. So she found a list of all the homeowners going back to the original owner and with their signatures on. don't
Well,
know,
I
a title
pulled
or-
deeds.
Mhm.
I went to my title agent. I'm like, pull me back as far as you can, deeds and any kind of recorded information. And
Yeah.
that only got me back to
18
probably the
something.
1800s
Yeah,
somewhere,
1890
Right.
which is
yeah.
old.
Yeah, it's good.
You know,
Yeah.
that's good, but it didn't take me back to 1759,
Right,
which
right.
you wouldn't expect.
You
but-
might need to go. So if you go to a good library, they're
Mhm.
going to have access to the provincial record,
Mm.
which is the records that were kept by Pennsylvania when it was a colony of England.
Oh.
So if you go to like the County Library,
Right.
or if you go to like the Pottstown Regional Library and talk to a librarian there, they'll be
Okay.
able to tie you into the provincial record.
I
You
didn't know
might
that.
be able to
That's
find some
interesting.
information, or at least some information about that area
Right.
in the provincial record. I've done some research in the
great.
provincial record, and there's all kinds of great stories in there.
That's great.
I used the provincial record for a little battle that occurred between some settlers and Indians back in 1728, right here in this area.
Wow.
And it's all recorded in the provincial record.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even know about that resource.
Even the names of some of the Indians and the names of the settlers
That's
and
wild.
what happened and how they dealt with it and everything. It's all in
Well,
there.
this house is actually on the Berks County
I'm
Historic
sure.
Register, and I
Yeah.
reached out to them,
Mhm.
and it was like, I didn't get much,
Right.
you know. But
Another one-
that's
But the
interesting. I
house
didn't know
does
that.
have an Indian door. I don't know if you're familiar with what
No,
that
I don't
is.
know.
Oh, super
So
cool.
it's a door, but if you pull a latch, the top part of the door drops down so you can shoot out
Okay.
at the Indians, and
Sounds
then you
terrible,
can lift
but-
it back up. So
Right.
if the arrows are coming your way, you can
Right.
block them.
It's part of
history,
part of
right.
history.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'll give you some other tips too. There's some other things
Okay.
there's some other tricks and tips that you have. And then I'll turn you on to another guy that I know who's a local historian that knows
Very
how
cool.
to do a lot of digging.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we can hook you up.
So I know you brought a lot of stuff with you. Is there anything you want to show? Did you bring anything for show and tell, or
You know, I don't know about you.
No, go
but
ahead.
I'm just giving you the option right now? That's all.
Well, because we don't have internet access where we are, which is why we couldn't do it live out at New Spirit Old Soul.
Mhm.
So I kind of want to entice people. You have to come out and see it because there's a lot of cool stuff.
There is a lot of. Cool
There's
stuff.
a lot of cool
There's
stuff.
a lot of cool stuff.
There's old stuff, new stuff, plethora,
stuff.
handmade, right?
Architectural side.
Anything. It runs the gamut.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of what we've created.
Yeah, it was hard to pick what to bring.
Right.
You know, we have some cool old signs that
Well,
end.
this is the original owner
Yeah.
of the property, John Mozart, from 1759.
Who
This
made
hangs-
saddles?
It hangs in the summer kitchen.
I mean, is that the original sign?
No, it's not.
Okay.
We did figure
Sure.
out that it's not. Yeah.
It's made out of plywood. It's made out of plywood,
Exactly.
dude.
I love that.
Yes, that's what we
I'm-
tell people.
You're a
I'm
carpenter.
not a private investigator like you are.
Yeah, but you're a carpenter.
But it's old and beat up. So that's, sometimes we
I know.
make up
I really
beautiful
did know
stories.
that.
Beth is really good about, around the seasons,
local.
with Easter coming, Beth is really good about finding kind of primitive antique looking items. This is new, but it looks old, and
But she's local talent too.
yeah, local talent. So
um,
she loves to Beth always finds seasonal items that kind of go with your decor for the season as well. So we always have something like that out
yeah,
there.
that sign's probably endemic of what we are. That sign.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's just an overall
Yep.
summary of
Perfect.
kind of what we do.
Right.
yeah, and it's only $24. So
After this show is 48. But this is, we kind of run the life cycle from the old stuff to the new stuff. This is signage for New Spirit Old Soul.
made
So-
by a local artist,
Right,
Joanne,
right.
who just is a great talent, and she paints shoes and purses and different things. And I won this in a contest at her art gallery opening. And I asked for black with white lettering.
Mhm.
And I also said, do whatever you want. I didn't
Right.
really care. I trust artists. They
Yeah.
have the mind for it. And this is what she came back with. And I said, that's better than I could come up with. So I'm
Ever.
okay with it.
Right.
And of course, as Beth always says, now we can never use it for cornhole
never
because
using
it's
that for
a piece of
cornhole.
art now.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
too pretty. But I would say instead of, trying to display some of our wares here, I think because the place is an experience,
Yes.
Mhm.
it's not just I'm going into a retail shop, down at the giant anchored center. I'm going to a 1759 homestead that happens to have some cool shops, some cool stuff. You walk on the property and you're kind of stepping back in time,
Yeah.
but you're experiencing new stuff just the same, and you're meeting some pretty awesome people.
If I do say
If
so
I-
myself.
if I do, well, I mean, we love. That's part of the appeal of why we do this. We love meeting new people. They quickly become friends and family.
Mhm.
That's been one of the nicest things that's come
we
out
have
about
the
this.
best repeat customers over.
Yeah.
Just every other weekend we see
Good
the same
people.
people. It's really great. And again,
And that means something for your business too.
It's
yeah,
huge.
It's great.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to come back
Mhm.
weekly and not just
Yeah,
I've seen it already. I've done it.
Yeah.
And it is, again, bring out your kids, you can bring your friendly animals with you. If you have a dog or something, you want
Right.
a parrot on a leash, that's fine. Bring them out. We have a lot of fun, and people, it's not just the shopping, right? You're walking the property. You need to set aside at least 30 minutes if you're going fast. 45 minutes 45 minutes to an hour if you're going slow, and enjoy the property. You can sit down and have a drink, a beverage of your choice.
Yeah, we were offered
Right.
beverages.
That was part of creating the outdoor pergola area, so people could hang out, have a drink, whatever it is, water, soda, a glass of wine or a beer, whatever that it happens to be that day. We always welcome people with that. And, sometimes we break out the karaoke, and it's just a spontaneous thing. It's kind of a cool.
We've had artists come
spontaneous.
and paint and draw.
Yeah.
And that's okay. People come and take pictures. We can even schedule if you want to do pre-wedding photos or engagement photos. We've had that. We've had a ballerina come and take pictures around the property. Inner ballerina, which the background of the stone house.
It's
so
phenomenal.
So neat. So contrasting.
We are getting a question from Renee Kendra Morris. I really want to thank her for putting up so many comments in the chat. That's what's going to help get the word out. She wants to know, did it take you guys a long time for you to come up with your name?
Yes.
Yes, it did, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
It did. And
a lot of like antiques.
Hi, Renee.
Yeah. Hi, Renee. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
A lot of names are taken, right? You try not to be the same that everyone else is, but thinking about antiques and thinking about what else can you say, old to new to that's taken, everything's taken.
Vintage. That's been used and abused. It's like, even though there are wonderful words out there, they become common.
We also wanted something to represent us.
Yeah.
Something that really truly represented kind of what you get with us. And Beth actually finally.
I did, because I'm like a dog with a bone. If I have like finding this property, it took me a long time. It was in my head for a long time, just like the sentiment for whatever this new business was going to be called. And I was reading one day, reading design books. I'm just, trying to take all this stuff in. And I saw something that was close to that, and it clicked. I'm like, that's what it is. It's New Spirit, Old Soul. That's what this is.
Right.
And
it's giving life to something old, right? It's new spirit. It looks different. It's new now, but it was old. So when she said it, I said, that's it.
Yeah, but it took a long time. And people just like the sentiment. So they don't care that it's like, I tell people, I don't need you to wear because we sell t-shirts, right? And people like the t-shirts just because of the sentiment. They're like, oh yeah, I love that.
That's me.
Right.
We had a lady walk in the shop one day. She bought the shirt. I just love this. And her husband goes, that's the name of the store, right? She says, it is?
Yeah.
She's like, but I just love this. And I said, that's the point.
Yeah. So you've really come up with a name, which is a theme, which people can relate to.
Right.
So whether you intended to or not, you came up with almost the perfect marketing in your name.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a good circle going on right there. Renee Kendra Morris is saying that Jake's really perfecting his pizza. So I guess maybe she's had some. I'm not exactly sure. She says she's going to be out next weekend for your grand opening.
So I think our first weekend was
last weekend was our grand reopening, and then the next weekend that we are open is March 31st, April 1st, and April 2nd. That's the next weekend that we're
actually have an overlay. I did put it up on the screen before while we were talking. I'm going to put that up again so that people can take a look. I'm just going to leave it up there for a few seconds, but it does give you the dates in March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I also put a link to your website and a link to your Facebook page in the comments of the chat. And the website, your phone number, and address have been displayed prominently on the bottom of the screen. So
thank you.
All people have to do is check the comments or go back and watch the show again for a couple of minutes, and they will be able to find you guys.
Perfect.
And outside of these dates, Beth is already planning to be open for a longer period of time during the holiday seasons at the end of the year, and we have events that aren't even posted yet on our website, so you do have to keep checking back on our website and social media for new events as we post those coming up,
because typically I would say by the time fall rolls around, that's when especially retailers are in full season, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's when you have the highest demand. So we'd
Yeah.
like to meet that demand for, our customers. So most likely we'll be open from September through most of December.
Right.
You know,
Plus
as
the
those
weather's
weekends
nice to
it's
be
good.
outside then. It's not too hot.
It's-
It's not too cold. You know
fall
what I mean?
is huge.
Yeah.
People love.
If I can make a recommendation, first of all, this property, I say this all the time, this property was made for fall. It is so beautiful in the fall. Ladies, I know you love fall. This is the property you want to come to.
Pumpkin
That's-
Put on your Ugg
But
boots.
there are at least
That's perfect.
10 different trees that have 10 different leaves, and they're all a different color around the property as they start to change. And it's a beauty, and they start to fall, and it's really beautiful.
Live, laugh, love,
That's right.
ladies.
And there's a little creek that runs through the property. It's really a picture perfect in the fall.
Well, and even through Christmas, because we fully deck it out for
Yeah,
Christmas. It was like a light show extravaganza last year. The whole property and all the buildings were lit. And we did the holiday house tours. So the house everything was decked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Throughout the day as the sun goes over the property, you just get a different view of what it looks like. But also, if you stop out each season, it's a different
Right.
sun. It's a different look.
Mhm.
Right now there's no foliage, and as the leaves are growing in, then the property kind of is encapsulated.
Flowers
right?
are blue.
Flowers are blue. It's a
Mhm.
different look. And then in the summer, it's a little hot, but the grass is green. It's really something different. In the fall, it's just every season is so different. It's such a beautiful place. Yeah.
Nice.
So Jeff, we're coming down towards the end of the show, 7:47.
Yeah, we gotta
Wow.
move on. I guess,
Oh,
And don't go anywhere.
Oh.
You're not moving on.
You're not moving
We're all
on.
Okay.
sticking together here.
We're just shifting gears a little
That's
bit.
right.
You have something that you like to do around the area, and why don't you tell people what you're going to do, and then I'm going to start changing the graphics up on the screen
we
so
will
people
get
know
to-
what you're talking about.
We will get to what's going down in Boyertown, which is the event guide.
Okay.
First, we wanted, since St. Patty's Day is 2 days away,
Okay.
I wanted to get some Irish trivia in here.
All right.
See how much.
Let me first apologize to all the Irish people out there that I do not know your culture as well as I should. My friend Kevin O'Neill, that is probably going to be saying you should
that's
know
all right.
this.
Let's give it a shot.
Yes.
We're going to fake it. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that hard. I mean, yes, it is.
Okay.
First of all, let's just start.
Let's fart.
No, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Is that a competition?
Good. I've been holding it in this
Yeah.
whole time. No, I'm glad
You
you
eat
said
enough cabbage. You eat enough. You
There
eat
you
enough
go.
cabbage.
There's a circle that
Yeah.
follows that
Yeah.
theme.
Better
Yeah.
out than
Giant.
in.
The end.
Start out. Okay,
Viewership just went up.
Now it's getting
St.
interesting.
Patrick's Day is celebrated annually on March 17th, this Friday, which is the anniversary of what? Does anybody know?
I'm a conspiracy theory guy, and there's a lot of history in that. And it seems like depending on what source you go to, you get a different answer. So I don't even know how to answer that.
Well, what's one of the theories that you have? You don't even know. You just
That
made
St.
up.
Patty's Day, right? the day that St. Patty's chased
It
snakes
has-
out of Ireland. Like, I know that's a funny one that people like
It's
to
not that, but
represent.
that's-
I know it's not
yeah.
that.
Do you know what it is?
It's not about.
I'm pretty sure that I know what it is,
Okay.
but I'm going to wait to
You wanna
see
give it a
some other
shot?
stuff. And if anybody
I'm going to
wants
say
to,
something terrible, so it's probably we'll go with
ahead.
whatever you're
Let's
going to
go. I wanna
say.
hear the terrible
yeah,
thing.
Me and
say
you-
the terrible thing.
I always think,
Controversy creates views.
right?
Yeah.
Let's fart with that.
Yeah, let's fart with that.
Sorry. I always think whatever that mob shooting was, and I know that's not it.
The Valentine's Day
Yeah,
massacre.
that's what I'm thinking of.
That is terrible.
It's
I
actually
know, I
Saint.
told you it was terrible. What is it?
Yeah, it would be St. Patty's. Patty, not
PADD?
Patty, because it's St. Patrick.
Oh,
What
Somebody was asking,
his
is it
death.
St. Patty's
St. Patrick's
or is it
death.
St.
It's
Patrick?
Yeah, it's short for
Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the anniversary or it's the date of St. Patrick's feast day. It's the feast day for St. Patrick, right?
Well, you were close because
You
were
are.
saying that it has to do with St. Patrick. That's actually the day of his death.
The death date, his death
Yeah.
date. Was he martyred?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That's
I don't know all
that's an
the
even
answers.
better question. That's when it goes to the dark side. Let's just leave it at that. We'll scare the audience.
Yeah, I
Where
don't know.
was St. Patrick from?
Oh my goodness, Ireland.
That's what you would think.
No, he
You might
wasn't.
be right.
He wasn't.
You don't think so?
He wasn't Irish.
Why?
I think that if I remember correctly,
Yes.
he was the son of a Roman soldier who was stationed in England.
Did
So he was actually.
I was going to
From
say
he was
England.
actually Italian.
Mm.
from Wales, and he was kidnapped by Irish raiders or pirates and taken to Ireland at the age of 16.
What year is this?
That's
early.
an even better question.
Long
What
time
year?
ago.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
3-digit years, I
Right.
think.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That is a long time ago.
And
These are-
so he knew how to read because this is I think what I remember.
Okay.
He knew how to read
That's better than me
because
already.
he was training to be a monk or a priest.
Mhm.
So when he was captured, he knew how to read and write. And when the Irish raiders took him away, he taught them how to read and write and converted them to Catholicism
Oh, wow.
because he was a
Wow.
Catholic because they were pagans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
hope
good.
that.
I'm pretty
I
sure
hope
that's.
a-
I'm
man.
I
pretty
hope
sure
that's
that
true.
that's true.
pretty
I like that.
interesting.
I'm going to lean
Me
towards the
too.
historian side of things.
Right.
Okay, we'll
But
get a little.
There was a good possibility that he was Italian
Could be.
or partially Italian from Italian descent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the story. Somebody can look that up.
Well,
Yeah.
Wiki it for me.
Well, everybody,
That's
we'll all drink to that
interesting.
on St. Patty's Day.
Okay, up until the 1970s, we're getting a little minor
Okay,
now,
good.
Okay? What used to be closed in Ireland on St. Patrick's Day? I'm going to give you
Oh,
multiple choice.
multiple
here.
choice. This is fun.
Oh.
Churches,
Mhm.
retail stores, or pubs.
Retail stores.
It can't be pubs.
It can't be
Otherwise, we're
pubs.
really celebrating
Right.
the wrong way here. You
For
know, I think
churches.
would be hurt in celebration of the pubs being closed back then. Now we leave them open. And
I
close
would say
everything
retail
else.
stores too.
Well, St. Patty,
I
or
can't
or if in celebration the church is closed so that we can celebrate St. Patrick. It's a man,
Oh,
C,
oh,
right? That's always the
it's-
answer.
it's
C means
CC pubs.
You go with pubs?
I'm gonna
it's
go with pubs
pubs.
just to be.
It's pubs.
Why is
Good
it
job.
pubs though?
I don't know why it was closed.
Because they didn't want
We're all
people
doing it
drunk.
wrong, and
they
Yeah, I
wanted
guess.
people
We're glad
go
we
in
are.
church.
Go to
But look
church,
how
yeah.
far we've come. We've come. That's
Full circle.
really.
The opposite way.
It just
It's not full
yeah.
circle, that's
No,
half
it's
circle.
back. It's
I mean,
backwards
if
circle.
you like, I grew up in a pretty. My mom's pretty Irish, and like a lot of the Irish people, Irish families that I knew, they do go to church on St. Patrick's Day. I mean, it is still celebrated as a feast day by some Irish Catholics.
Mhm.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's to be controversial. We all know Catholics need a reason to go to church at least a few times a year.
Yeah, right.
Easter,
Yeah, right.
Christmas,
Christmas.
St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, right. So here, I did kind of have it right. St. Patrick was a 5th century Romano-British Christian missionary and bishop in Ireland. He was born into a Romano-British family. His father was a deacon and his grandfather was a priest.
Wow.
According to there's a document called the Declaration, which most people think that St. Patrick wrote himself. At the age of 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and taken as a slave to Gaelic Ireland. It says that he spent 6 years there working as a shepherd, and during that time, he found God. The Declaration says that God told Patrick to flee to the coast, where a ship would be waiting to take him home. After making his way home, Patrick went on to become a priest. According to tradition, Patrick returned to Ireland to convert the pagan Irish to Christianity. The Declaration says that he spent many years evangelizing in the northern half of Ireland and converted thousands.
Wow.
Patrick's efforts were eventually turned into an allegory in which he drove the snakes out of Ireland. That meant that he was driving the
Oh,
snakes are
pagans.
representative
He's-
of the pagans.
Mhm.
Right. He's driving the evil out of.
Correct.
Yeah.
He
Right.
drove the
right,
evil out of
right.
Ireland.
Wow.
And
So I was
tradition
right.
holds
That's
to begin with,
pretty
so-
But
interesting.
did you know that there are no snakes in Ireland?
Yes, there are no
No.
snakes in
There are no
Ireland.
There really are no
There's
snakes. in it.
yeah,
And there
there's
are no
snakes.
cats in America.
Right. That's wow. Okay.
Okay, so thank
What-
you, Matt.
what year?
We just
That
learned
was-
a lot there.
That
Fifth
was pretty
century.
amazing.
So that would be
Wow.
the 400s.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Pretty interesting.
Okay, if the last name Mac means, like Mac.
Mick.
Right.
Mick and Mac.
Yeah,
MC or
means
MAC.
son of. What does O mean, for example, like O'Reilly or O'Grady?
So
Those are the ones you want to have a drink
so
with.
Mick means
oh, we're gonna have a
what?
good
Son-
time,
Mick
yeah.
means son of.
Yes.
Mhm.
Does
Mick
that
and
mean
Mac.
daughter of?
Mick and Mac means son of.
Mhm.
Like
I
O'Reilly.
mean, what? Oh, I understand.
Yeah, you see that O goes first.
I know what it means.
Oh, apostrophe.
It means from or of.
grandson.
Grandson of. Okay, there you go.
Wow.
Okay.
Give us an easy one. These are really hard.
Here's the last one.
I've been
Oh my
right every time
goodness.
so
Easy or
far.
not, I don't know. But people during St. Patrick's Day yell this out all the time. They say, Aaron go brah,
Right.
right? What does it mean? Does anybody know? Do you know?
I'm
You don't
Oh
have to
my
say it, yeah.
gosh. You're
Let's have a
like
beer.
the Irish
I
expert.
gotta.
Well,
I'm like.
I found this on the internet.
Well, yeah, you did, but he's
No,
got.
I'm super Irish.
The internet right
Believe it or
in front
not,
of
I'm
me.
You
super.
look super Irish.
Yeah, I
right.
don't look it, but I am.
I'm drinking faster as we talk about Irish.
I don't. You know what? I should know this
Oh.
because I post it all the time.
You
And
should
there's
know it.
There's a
yeah.
sentence that I actually learned how
I
to
think
say.
I know what
in
it is,
Gaelic.
actually.
Go ahead. What do you think it
I
is?
think it's Ireland forever.
You're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, there you go.
I had it here. I just had to
Couldn't
unlock
that either.
it in my mind palace.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
The old mind.
There you go. I'll throw a trivia for you.
Okay, let's
So,
hear it.
and this is something that I talked about on my other show, which is called Porchcast Pottstown, which we used to shoot at Pottstown United Brewing Company. And on St. Patrick's Day, last year or the year before, was on a Thursday. So we had the show on St. Patrick's Day. If you want to order a drink, mix Guinness, so Guinness mixed with a ale or a Pilsner is called what? Some people call it a black and tan, right?
That's not correct.
Do not call that drink a black and tan on St. Patrick's Day.
I
Do you know
what it is.
why?
I know what it is, but yeah,
Why?
because the uniforms of the
The English soldiers were
Mm.
black and tan. So they used to call the English soldiers black and tans. There's actually a song. It's a fight song.
Oh, wow.
An Irish fight song. It says, "Come out, ye black and tans. I'll face you like a man."
Wow.
And it's an
Wow.
IRA song.
Yeah.
And it's a fight song. It's a drinking song. So if you really want to support the Irish on St. Patrick's Day, do not order a black and tan.
But
You know what you
how
have to order it? I do.
How?
I do
how?
too, so I don't want to.
What?
Half and half.
Oh, heaven.
Half and half.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Interesting. So you still can get the drink.
Yeah.
So don't
just-
ever, just don't ever order a black and tan.
Don't order a
Right.
black
Just
and tan.
half and half.
Half and half.
Interesting.
That's good.
I love that.
Wow.
Listen, if you're not drinking by now, folks, pour a glass. Let's cheers. Get your drinks out now. This is, I'm excited.
All
I
right,
think we
now
should go to
that
the
we
bar
learned
after
about
this.
St. Patrick's Day.
A lot.
Let's
Yeah.
find out what's going on in Boyertown for St.
What
Patrick's
is
Day.
Mhm.
going down in Boyertown?
So I have an event guide you can find at jeffknowsboyertown.com. If you subscribe to it, then it gets sent to your email each week, and that makes it super simple for you. I put it up, like I said, weekly, and it gives you all the events that are happening in the area, at least most of them, the ones that I can
Find.
find.
Right.
So this week, being St. Patrick's Day weekend, of course, the Valley Hotel in Valley, Pennsylvania, is doing their Irish Wake. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They got DJs. They got live bands.
You
they
keep
got-
tapping on the table. Don't do
Sorry.
that.
I just got yelled at by Matt.
Wow. He got angry
He's
real
a
fast.
pro, too.
I got scolded. And of course, they got the Irish meals you can get there and everything else. Doc's Irish Pub, of course, they
Right.
got to do their Irish thing too. They have some live music. They have guests. They have bagpipers, and they even have some karaoke on Saturday.
Bagpipers.
So and they have their Irish
Cool.
meals going on as well,
Who doesn't love some bagpipers?
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, it's music to the ears.
That's perfect.
It's the only time I can listen to
That's
it.
right.
That one day a year, and I'm like, okay. I can't.
I'm good.
The Colebrookdale Railroad is doing their bagpiper train.
All right.
So in close
That's-
quarters with
That's-
bagpipes.
Running down the trail. I like it.
Aw, Right.
So that's just on Friday, 6:30. They have one train. They're getting together with Jack Cassidy's in Pottstown,
Mhm.
and they're bringing their food and beverage for the train.
Didn't you meet the
Nice.
guys from the Colebrookdale
Yes. Fantastic. The guys who designed the
the
look
building, the
of
architecture,
the architecture,
Okay.
which
the
I think
ticket
is
booth?
phenomenal.
Oh,
Anyway,
what a
Yeah,
beautiful
they're
place.
super nice people.
Yeah.
Very talented.
So there's all sorts of stuff going on for for St. Patty's Day, not just bars and drinking. There's the Peppermint Stick Candy Store is putting on their leprechaun hunt. Like you walk throughout town and you find little riddles,
like a scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunt type
Yeah.
thing. Yep. And you can win a $100 gift certificate to the Peppermint Stick Candy Store.
Oh, very cool.
They also are gonna have like a real life leprechaun there that you get a picture with birthday buddies. You ever hear of birthday buddies in the area?
No, but it sounds cool.
I want a buddy.
And I think they're doing magic leprechauns where they can get a picture of like a little leprechaun on your shoulder.
Oh,
Kinda
that's
like
cool.
That's
Disney,
way
Yeah.
cool.
Tinkerbell,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think they're doing that
Nice.
as well, Peppermint Stick. So go to Peppermint Stick this weekend with your kids and have a little fun time throughout Boyertown.
That's great.
That is Friday night Friday day from 11 to 6.
Nice.
Also, Boyertown YMCA is putting on a family fun night, leprechaun hunt as well, where you can bring your family there from 6 to 8, and they're doing some kind of leprechaun hunt as well. Let me see what else we got.
I'm trying to put links to all these places that you're talking about up into the chat so that people can go back and find these places. I'm putting links to Facebook.
You know Kimmy Songbird that was on the show?
Yes,
Right?
Killing Clark.
Dylan Clark's playing at JJ Radigan's in Pottstown on Friday night from 7 to 10. So, I mean, they're awesome musicians. Do you know them by chance?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, you gotta go see.
Okay.
Them. You ever hear of Kim and Paul or Rouge?
No.
You gotta see.
Sorry.
It's all the
We
same
have to.
I'm
Yeah.
in.
group of people.
Terrific.
Well, it's all based around Kimmy Songbird.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the singer. She's the
And she's got
personality.
Okay.
amazing voice. So there's that.
Yeah.
And there's much more. I left
So
out a
much
whole
more.
bunch of stuff. There's way more
Sure.
St. Patrick's Day stuff going on. There's just much more events in general going on this weekend and
Yeah.
this coming week.
I would
So-
I would challenge some people, like if you are Irish or you want to pretend that you're Irish, like
Everybody's Irish.
there's
Yeah,
so
everybody.
many good stories in this area. So I'll throw a couple out that I know, or so you could probably start your research on some of this stuff.
Okay.
There's a place down in Malvern called Duffy's Cut.
Mhm.
It's a railroad cut that was dug in the 1820s by Irish immigrants. And they brought these people here and like basically used them as slaves to cut this railroad thing. And there was an accident. I don't want to give the whole thing, but if you want to learn some local Irish history,
Mhm.
just look up Duffy's Cut.
Okay.
A really good friend of mine, Bob McAllister, was part of the group that uncovered the history of Duffy's Cut and brought it back and has a
Wow.
historical
That's
marker
neat.
there. And they started doing this history interpretation of Duffy's Cut in order to protect the history and the memory of these Irish immigrants.
Oh, that's neat.
Another really good story from this local area or this region is the story of the Molly Maguires.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
Molly Maguires were some of the first people in the United States to form labor unions because they weren't being treated properly by the coal
Mhm.
companies, and literally fought a war with this group of people called the Pinkertons. The Pinkertons was a private police department that the coal companies hired to bust the union, the Molly Maguires.
Mhm.
They literally went to war. The Molly Maguires went to war against the Pinkertons.
Right.
If you want to learn that story,
That's
it's
cool.
unbelievable
That's-
story that happened right here in our area.
Yeah.
And if you like things like, I don't know, weekends off, 8-hour work day, like that kind of stuff was literally fought and died for by some of these my Irish ancestors.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Look that stuff up. And if that doesn't make you feel a little bit more proud about maybe celebrating St.
Yeah.
Patrick's Day,
Right. Right.
other than just a day to get wasted,
Right.
yeah,
That's pretty
there's
cool.
some really cool history.
So all
Right.
we need is another excuse. I like
Yeah,
that.
right.
That's pretty amazing, actually.
So
That's pretty
as you're
cool.
cheersing your drink,
Mhm.
sláinte.
Hey, to the Molly Maguires.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Cheers to the Molly
That's-
Maguires.
Absolutely.
They are responsible or partially responsible for your weekend.
What
Right.
area? What area was that war fought in? All around? Or?
Yeah, Jim Thorpe. But there's
Okay.
if
Jim
there's
Thorpe.
actually there's a jail. There was a jail up in Jim Thorpe where some of these Molly Maguires were
Does that still
held.
exist?
Yes, it
Wow.
Oh,
does.
you're
And I don't want to give too much of
It's really
away,
good.
but there's a
Yeah.
really interesting
gonna make
story.
me look it up.
Look it
I
up.
like it.
Look it up. Look up about the Molly Maguires and Jim Thorpe, and
Hmm.
you will hear. You
Okay.
will learn the story. You
We
will.
were just there.
You
too.
guys
Didn't know.
will. You guys
Love Jim
especially will like it.
I love.
Just walk to this
Yeah.
love
already.
The jail is right up at the top,
Okay.
and it was working. It was a working jail until
Pretty
I think-
recently.
Yeah, like early 2000s.
Wow.
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. It
Yeah.
lasted that long.
Wow.
But you can get a tour of it, and it's a great tour.
No, that
Great
sounds
stories.
like a great tour. I
Yeah.
definitely want to do that next
Yeah.
time we're out that way. We were just out there.
Not that long ago.
Yeah, no.
Right.
So I got a joke.
Go ahead. Is it Irish?
Of course.
Irish, well known for their senses of humor and telling stories and tall
Say after
tales.
my joke.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you know why Ireland is the wealthiest country?
Why is that? I don't know.
Because its capital is always Dublin.
Okay, that's
All right.
That's pretty,
Capital
We got
is
one.
always
Dublin.
Dublin.
that's pretty good.
I wish my capital would double.
Right.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That's
Real
pretty
nice.
good.
I read
That's
somewhere,
good.
on a side note, I read somewhere that the per capita,
Mhm.
Ireland is the wealthiest country.
Really?
Per
I thought they
capita.
were pretty poor.
I thought they were too.
Because remember when Greg went over there to live, he would
Yeah.
always complain about.
But it's per capita.
How
so
many
Okay.
people are there?
Right. It's
Can't be that many.
relative.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know I don't know if this is the case anymore, but for a while there's these islands on the eastern coast of Ireland that people have just given up on because there's really not a whole lot of industry there. They're trying to get people to move back into the area. If you're willing to,
Mhm.
you can move into any abandoned house,
Mhm.
and as long as you're willing to take care of it, they'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that
And
amazing?
Yeah.
there are
Isn't that
places.
amazing?
Yeah, it's nuts.
There are also places who will
That's your
pay you
summer
to
home.
move there as well.
Yeah.
That they
Right.
give you so much money per year.
Or a
to
town.
move
Buy a
back into.
town.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They're trying to repopulate this section. Now it's really hard scrabble life. There's not a whole lot of
Yeah.
industry. It gets really hit hard by weather from the North
Wow.
Sea and from the Atlantic. But that's one of the ways they're trying to
Wow.
get people to get back in
But
there.
if you're a
is-
homesteader,
yeah,
Mm.
there you go. Yeah,
That's right.
maybe that's an
That's the life you
opportunity
want.
for
that's
you.
right.
Yeah,
Like that. Do it
Mhm.
yourself.
All right,
interesting.
man. I think
We're at 8:08.
Wow.
Oh.
That's it.
we're
Time
The
flies.
808.
Oh,
The
right.
drum kick kicks 808. Anyway, this has been the cast at Glocker. We've been talking to the folks from
New.
New Spirit, Old Soul. I keep wanting to say that because the other
that all
folks
the
were
time.
on the show. We were talking to Beth Vopper. She's the queen over at New Spirit, Old
Don't
Soul.
say anything
There
else
you
either.
go.
That's right.
The end.
Her assistant is Jacob Wright.
Absolutely.
He's the co-owner.
I pick things up, I put them down. That's
There
about all
you
I
go.
do there.
She's the brains. He's the muscle.
There you go.
You got that right.
And they are located at 7799 Boyertown Pike, Boyertown, PA 19512. You can find them newspiritOldSoul.com. Go check them out. My name is Matt Green. I'm a real estate agent here at Glocker Realty. I also have another podcast called Porchcast Pottstown. We bring you news, updates, and conversation for Pottstown and the surrounding communities. We're going to be on tomorrow night at 6:00. Find us by searching Porchcast
Who
Pottstown.
are you having on tomorrow night?
We're talking to a woman by the name of Kelly Fenstermacher. She's a
That's a fun name to say, right?
Yeah, Kelly Fenstermacher is a historian, and she's going to be talking about Edgewood Cemetery. Edgewood Cemetery is an abandoned cemetery,
Wow.
which the people of Pottstown have graciously donated or adopted.
Mhm.
And through donation and volunteerism, they're restoring
Oh, that's
the
neat.
historic cemetery.
It's a big
Wow.
cemetery.
Yeah, there is. So March is Women's History Month, amongst other things.
Mhm.
So Kelly Fenstermacher has been researching some of the famous people that are buried in this cemetery. She's going to come on to talk about 4 pretty famous ladies that are buried in that cemetery
Cool.
as a way to
That's
raise
interesting.
awareness for the need for donation.
Yeah.
There's gravestones that have toppled over the course of time.
Yeah.
We also have a huge groundhog problem at Edgewood Cemetery, which has caused some of the headstones to
Oh
topple.
my God.
So Kelly is raising money to rewrite the headstones. And in order to get people interested, she's doing this historical research about the historic people that are buried there. These are really the founders of Pottstown and people that contributed to society in major ways. There's 2 breveted Civil War generals buried over there. And there's a woman by the last name of Wittenmeyer, who was basically the person who started the relief efforts for Civil War veterans. She is the one that fought for both men and women who participated in the Civil War to get a pension. And she's buried in Pottstown at Edgewood Cemetery. So we're going to be talking about some stuff like that tomorrow on Porchcast Pottstown.
Cool. Check it out.
Check it out.
All right.
Very cool.
I'm Jeff Frederick. I'm a real estate agent also. Awesome. And
as well.
Yeah, as well.
Me too. Hashtag me too.
That would really fly, right?
Let's start there.
Yes.
And I actually have a piece of land coming up on this coming up on the market this Friday.
Okay.
It's a 2-acre lot in Boyertown School District. It's a nicely wooded. It's not like a packed wooded. It's densely wooded.
Gotcha.
Densely, it's the opposite densely.
Open woods.
Open woods.
Yeah.
And it has a nice drive through. It's already perk approved and everything like that.
So it's a building lot.
Yeah, it's a building lot. Yeah.
2
So
acres.
you can build your dream home or your forever home, whatever on it. So that'll be coming up.
Glocker.com.
That's right. You can find it. You'll find it there.
Go to the website, Glocker.com. If you want to see some of the work that we're doing as far as of listing videos and things of that nature, head over to the YouTube channel, Glocker Realty and Insurance.
Probably on Friday.
If you send me the link, I'll make sure it gets up there.
Okay.
And people can see some of the work that we're doing. I mean, no brag, just fact. We're making some of the best listing videos in the area. Absolutely good stuff. Check it out. Glocker Realty and Insurance on Facebook and YouTube. This has been the cast at
Is there any shout outs
Glocker.
that you would like to
Shout
put out there?
out to all my friends at Heartland Salvage, to Kevin O'Neill and Diane Neal at the Autumn Olive in Bartow. Thanks for all your support over the years until we finally started our own business. So we appreciate what you guys did for us to get us to this point. So, and thanks to you guys for having us on.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you coming on and learning more about your store.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right.
Thanks so much.
Now, bring us out, Matt.
I'm taking to the
Take us
out. Don't forget, folks, we really do need you to subscribe on YouTube. Share the show out to your friends and help us spread the word about what's going down in Boyertown.